Here's me kissing one of these casts to prove that point. And I'm happy to report that my Geiger counter was clicking less than it does when I put it on this vintage Fiestaware plate right here. Good afternoon, Chair Green and members of the committee. It's great to be back. I have the opportunity to testify again. I'm Eric Meyer, founder and director of the Minnesota environmental nonprofit Generation Atomic. Over the past few years, we've talked to thousands of Minnesotans about nuclear energy at places like the State Fair and Pride festivals, and we've put together this coalition of labor, environmental, and business communities that is now proud to join this larger Minnesota Nuclear Energy Alliance and push for lifting the 30-year-old ban on new nuclear in our great state. I won't tell you nuclear energy is our most reliable carbon-free energy source. You already know that. I won't recite how nuclear generation requires less land and mining than solar farms and wind turbines. You've heard those numbers as well. And I won't remind you that our neighbors to the north in Ontario burned their last load of coal in 2014, a decade ago, and achieved the fastest greenhouse gas reduction in North American history by going from coal to nuclear. Or that Ontario is currently doubling down and building advanced reactors. I mentioned that the last time I testified. I think most of you already know that Xcel's tritium leak, while a PR disaster, presented no danger to the public. You'd have to drink 8 undiluted gallons directly from the leak to match the radiation dose we get from a standard chest X-ray. You may hear from other folks testifying today concerns about the spent fuel, which is a burden on local communities and is hazardous, but thankfully not dangerous, thanks to the incredibly robust containers we put it in. Here's me kissing one of these casts to prove that point. And I'm happy to report that my Geiger counter was clicking less than it does when I put it on this vintage Fiestaware plate right here. But I will say this, Minnesota's choice isn't about technology, it's about legacy. 7 coal plants will shutter by 2040. Power demand will probably triple. We can either cling to a ban written when dial-up internet was cutting-edge technology, or we can open our minds and embrace the generational opportunity that lies before us. I think SF50 really does that by just a clean lift. SF468, I think, attempts to, but that arbitrary limit does exclude some of our most promising designs that are being built elsewhere in the country or were recently built. So right now, billions in federal funding and private investment are flowing into nuclear projects across the country, and states are competing to attract these projects. Wisconsin, Montana, Illinois, Connecticut, Kentucky, and West Virginia have all passed bills to allow new nuclear in their states. Utah, just on Monday, established a consortium to develop and deploy new reactors. Oregon, California, and Rhode Island are also currently looking at lifting their bans on new nuclear. Meanwhile, shuttered plants are being restarted in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and as of 2 weeks ago, Iowa. Minnesota can either lift the ban to attract these investments, or we can watch as other states secure the jobs, tax revenue, and reliable, clean energy that could have been ours. But hesitation has a cost. Federal dollars and private capital aren't waiting. Every state that lifts its ban becomes a magnet for this investment. Every delay makes Minnesota a spectator in our own energy story. Let's not let 2040 be the winter we tell our kids and grandkids we knew what to do, we just didn't do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Meyer.